Well, a very good morning to you. A fine morning it is at Canterbury. It's a hazy sunshine today, but warm, sunny, and Lancashire with their tails up, needing 4 wickets to win this one. The battle of the bottom 2 in County Championship Division 1. It's the final day of Kent against Lancashire here at Canterbury with Matt Cole and Scott Reed. We'll see how this one goes. Charlie Stobo with 25 on out. Bayer Swanepoel batting with a runner once again. It's Tawanda Miyeye today out there, I think. It was Marcus O'Riordan last night. But 143 for 6, 4 more wickets needed for Lancashire. Kent still 162 runs short of making the visitors bat again. So Lancashire honing in on victory here. Kent looking for a miracle. Can they keep those 4 wickets intact for the rest of the day to bat out for a draw? Seems impossible. Let's see what happens. Williams bowling to Swanepoel, just outside off stump. Just guides that to a point along the ground, and there is no run. 2 slips in to start the morning for Will Williams, the Kiwi fast bowler, coming round the wicket. The left-handed Bayer Swanepoel batting with the runner because he has a hamstring problem. Didn't bowl on the 3rd day for Kent because of that, but has come out to bat in a trying to stonewall their way, these two, to a miraculous escape. But Lancashire heavy favourites to win this one, albeit on a fairly placid pitch, and Swanepoel has no problems just playing the good length delivery, rising up towards his waist just outside the off stump. So 25 for Stobo, 18 for Swanepoel. They did a great job, Lancashire, yesterday. Final session of the day, taking 4 Kent wickets. Compton for 37, Everson for 10, Miyeye for none, Finch for 23 to put themselves in this fantastic position with more than a little bit of help as Williams keeps low. Swanepoel's equal to it and just nudges it into the onside, fielded by Lavelle on the run at mid-wicket. Yes, more than a little help from their 549 for 9 declared. Huge total against Kent's threadbare bowling attack with no Swanepoel, as I said, on the last on the 3rd day. Josh Bohannon with 205 led the charge, 150 as well from Luke Wells in that cause. A record stand for the 2nd wicket against Kent for Lancashire. Swanepoel as well there again for Williams. Just on off stump, Swanepoel again cuts it out towards the guides it out towards the offside, and there's a no run. These two, I think, take a lot of credit for Kent. It's difficult for Kent supporters to take much in this game, but would have been easy for both of these to crumble yesterday at 67 for 5, then 111 for 6 when Bayer Swanepoel came to the wicket. Bouncer sways out of the way to Swanepoel through to the wicket keeper. It's not quite a make the start, ball short of that. 5 balls gone so far. Both of them have decent batting pedigree. Bayer Swanepoel, in fact, his first class high is 188 not out. He's native South Africa. And Charlie Stobo showed in the first innings that he's made of stern stuff with 30. Kept a little bit low as well, but Swanepoel has guided that out for 4 runs. This is a lovely shot actually from Swanepoel. Decent length from Williams, but no movement this morning. And it's a pretty placid pitch here. But that one was, he's guided the couple towards point, and that one was between point and cover. And he gets underway for the day, Bayer Swanepoel, with 4 runs. 22 he goes on to, Stobo has 25. Takes this partnership to 36 for Kent, but probably will be academic, but showing some fight, these two. 2 overseas players for Kent. Stobo, the Australian. Tom Bailey will take the ball at the far end, so Keaton Jennings has gone to his opening pair to try and dislodge these two. Good to update BBC Radio Kent listeners and Rob Smith's programme with the match situation here and the hopes for Kent as well. Bailey over the wicket to Stobo. Clips that into the onside. They'll take themselves a single. And on to 148 for 6. Didn't do brilliantly yesterday, it has to be said, Rob, and they're looking for a miracle this morning. But the pair out there at the moment showing some stubborn resistance. Charlie Stobo, the Australian, and Bear Swanepoel is batting with a runner, basically helping him to run or taking the running for him because he's got a hamstring strain. So those two have come out, 26 and 22 not out respectively, but Kent are 148 for 6. They basically have to keep their 4 remaining wickets intact. They've got to bat out the rest of the day for a draw. That seems almost impossible, although Swanepoel has just cut that one away for 4. It's a beautiful shot. He goes on to 26. Basically have to keep those 4 wickets intact. They are 157 short just of making Lancashire bat again. So far ahead were Lancashire yesterday with their 5-4-9 for 9 declared finally in their first innings. So heavy favourites Lancashire in this battle of the bottom 2 in the County Championship Division 1. It's absolutely been bossed by the visitors, but as I said, stubborn resistance so far. One of those days, Rob, one of those strange cricketing days for people that don't know the sport, where it could all be done in 10 minutes if Kent lose 4 quick wickets, or we could be here late into the afternoon and be talking about some sort of miracle that the Kent batting lineup, their tail end, have done, and that one's cut to just backward of square. I mentioned that because it looked like it was in the air for a bit, and I thought we were going to talk about one of those wickets. But so that's the situation. We're hoping for a Kent point of view. We're here long into the afternoon, and the captains shake hands on a draw around about 5 o'clock, but odds really against it. Kent will have to do something miraculous to do that. But commentary, as long as it lasts, via the BBC Sport website and app. Round the wicket comes Bailey, and it's cut away by Swanepoel, and that's a dot ball. So yeah, those updates are a bit unpredictable as well. I've just been talking to our mid-morning presenter Rob Smith about cricket being unpredictable, but just thought for a moment Swanepoel had cut the second ball away beautifully for 4, Scott Reed, and then he cut another one towards Jack Blatherwick, which I thought was a little bit floaty in the air to backward point. It could well have been the wicket, one of the wickets that Lancashire crave, but 2 balls to come of this Tom Bailey over. Round the wicket to the left-handed Swanepoel, who is not moving much to the crease, I think mostly because he's got an injured hamstring, but he is batting pretty well, albeit on what looks once again a pretty benign surface, so it may well be that Lancashire will have to work for these last 4 wickets. Morning, Scott.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, he's got Daniel Bell-Drummond there, I think, as his runner. It was Marcus O'Riordan, wasn't it, yesterday? That
it is Daniel Bell-Drummond, beg your pardon. Yes, yeah. Oh, it's a play and a miss from Swanepoel. He's trying that cut away. Actually, he's wearing 35, which is Bear Swanepoel's number. And I think it might actually be Tawanda Mieye, who's probably the quickest across the...
Wrong name, wrong number.
yes.
O'Riordan yesterday.
That was simpler because he was wearing the right number.
Yeah.
And we were actually told before it was going to be him. I think it is Tawanda. He's the fastest across the ground, that's for sure.
He'll be ideal.
But he is wearing a spare Charlie Stobo shirt, 35.
So we've got 2 Charlie Stobos.
I wouldn't have thought there'd be that many spare Stobo shirts. Say that 3 times quickly. I challenge you. But,
well, it's a great effort.
He's the runner.
On one kind of with a hampered hamstring, isn't it? I mean, last night he batted pretty well. These 2 showed real kind of good stubborn determination, and their defence was really good. They made it tricky for Lancashire at the back end of the day yesterday. So let's see if they can do something similar today. It's been Stobo's trademark, really, that solid front foot forward defensive block. Right in behind it, bangs the ball away into the offside. And there is no run. And I think you're right. I think obviously Lancashire have to work hard here. Still got 4 wickets to take. Didn't look really that threatening at the back end of yesterday. These 2 batted for a long period of time to get to the close of play, and I don't think this will be easy for Lancashire to rattle through it, as that's pushed away again by Stobo to cover, and there's no run. 1-5-2 for 6. Stobo remains on 26, Swanepoel on 26. So, yeah, we'll see how this day progresses. It's been a day and a game dominated by Lancashire, but who knows, we might have a further twist in the story, we shall see. Williams again for Lancashire balls, left alone. Good judgment by Stobo. Thought about playing at it, and then lifts the bat out of the way, and through it goes to Matty Hurst. And there's no run. So they've started with Bailey and Williams. There's Balderson and Blatherwick to come. There's potential of Luke Wells. I'm certain we'll see Nathan Lyon. So there's plenty of options for Keaton Jennings. And there's plenty of batting to do for Kent, but these two have offered just the perfect resistance last night and early on. Forward again goes Stobo. He really has been immaculate in that forward defence. We've seen it a lot last night, and we've seen it a few times already this morning. Such an imposing character, doesn't he, at the crease? He's so tall and strong looking, and he leans onto the front foot and bangs it defensively away into the offside. It's a pretty intimidating sight. Lancashire found it difficult to break through so far. Williams to Stobo, edged and bouncing in front of Keaton Jennings at second slip. Jennings picking the ball up on the bounce at second slip. And again, there's no run. 1-5-2 for 6. As Williams comes in to complete the over. Sets off again. The 2 slips in place, a short cover as well, which is Lavelle. There it is again. It's an immaculate front foot defensive shot. It's a maiden for Williams. Did find the edge of the bat, but it bounced well short of Jennings at second slip, and so far so good. Stobo and Swanepoel. A solid start to the morning session. 1-5-2 for 6. Lancashire still needing 4 more wickets to try and see if they can win the match here in Canterbury on the 4th and final day. 153 runs behind. Still the home side.
Yeah, as I was saying, Scott, just a few minutes ago, if Kent are going to take anything out of this match, it'd been really easy for these two to give up the ghost a little bit, play some rash shots. 6 down, one batter batting with a runner, and this looking almost insurmountable. Well, it does look insurmountable, to be honest. Bailey round the wicket to Swanepoel, drives into the offside, but doesn't quite get all of it. It's fielded by Blatherwick at point, and there's no run. So I think Stobo and Swanepoel take great credit for that, for just being, I won't say professional about it, because these people aren't robots, are they? These things get in your head, and scoreboard pressure really does tell on technique sometimes. But
they've been terrific.
Yeah,
they were really solid last night, and they started nicely early on today.
That's Bailey bowls up-ish and gone. There we go. And perhaps Bayers Swanepoel's lack of mobility at the crease has cost him. But whatever it was, he saw one just slightly back of a length, perhaps slightly wide as well. But he has cut that away, and this time it is straight at Jack Blatherwick. It's a decent catch because it's head high and going at a rate, but Bayers Swanepoel goes for 26, and Kent a 1-5-2 for 7. And you just think from a Lancashire point of view, absolutely what they would have said in the team meeting this morning. Get a couple early. We're on the road early too, with the victory points in our back pocket. 1-5-2 for 7. It has been a fine effort from Bayers Swanepoel. He comes off with his runner to Andamiaye very slowly, not just out of disappointment, but as I said, with that hamstring injury as well. But Tom Bailey has bowled really well for the most part, certainly in this second innings from what I've seen. 1-5-2 for 7, and they are a wicket closer to their goal.
Well, let's hope that he's okay, Swanepoel, for the game at Hampshire next week for Kent, because you can only make the assumption that it's not that significant, the hamstring injury, because he's come out to bat. He's had a couple of runners, one last night and one this morning, but he's not come out last man hobbling out to try and save the. He's actually batted quite high up. So from that, maybe we can assume that it's not that sinister, the hamstring strain. So hopefully he'll be fine for next week for the game at Hampshire. But as you say, it's a very good effort last night and first thing this morning to have try and battled it out. Matt Parkinson's going to join Charlie Stobo. Yeah, but from Lancashire's point of view, they've got a wicket nice and early. It means that sense of a 45 minutes opening hour, no breakthroughs. No, you could be a long old day. I suppose if you get one inside the first 15-20 minutes, it just takes away that sense of concern. Let's see how long Matt Parkinson can hang around for. Third wicket for Bailey, bowled nicely, 3 for 32. To Lancashire's credit, I mean they've now taken 17 wickets in this match on a pretty flat pitch.
And here is Bailey to Parkinson, moving into position. Was there a bit of a bat and pad there? There's a long look from Tom Bailey at his former teammate, and then there's a bit of a look back from Matt Parkinson. I'm sure a raised eyebrow from both of them, but. Parkinson, perhaps just reassuring him that it wasn't out. The umpire has not given it, but I'm not sure what you've seen on the replay there.
I think with the slope as well, that's probably sliding away down the leg side. He's staring back to Matt Parkinson. I think that's a perfectly fair decision not to give that out.
Is Bailey then to bowl and a bouncer? There we go. I'm not suggesting there's anything untoward between those two. It didn't feel from the body language that kind of exchange. Bailey was just hands on knees looking at Matt Parkinson for about 10 seconds, and then Parkinson turned towards him. I imagine they're just exchanging pleasantries at that point, but not out to a wicket in this over already.
He's a cheeky chappy, Matt Parkinson. He won't be shy of giving a bit, so he'll get a bit back here from his former teammates.
I'm sure he'll be enjoying the conversation. We're trying to hang around as long as possible. 2 slips and a short leg in for Parkinson. Almost found that man at short leg as well. He's pushed the ball past him, but too far past the right hand of, is that Llewellyn if Bell's at first slip? I'm assuming at short leg. Yeah, it is George Lavelle, but out of his reach. So Lancashire with the early wicket they craved and have worked hard for as well on this benign pitch, and that's a no ball from Tom Bailey. Parkinson just trying to work that away. I think that's hit him, may have hit him on the boot. He's just flexing the left leg there. Sounded like a paddy or booty kind of sound. It was definitely going down the leg side anyway. It wasn't really much of a shout, but that it appears the defensive of Matt Parkinson. Composes himself again, so one legitimate delivery to come here at Canterbury. 1-5-4 for 7. As Bailey bowls to Parkinson, full length delivery, drives that up to mid-off, and that is the end of the over. So 26 for Charlie Stobo, none for Matt Parkinson. 41 partnership between Bear Swanepoel and Charlie Stobo. Broken this morning, if you're just joining us, by Tom Bailey. Swanepoel had cut attractively a couple of times off Bailey, and the third time was the charm for the Lancashire seamer. Head-high catch from Blatherwick at backward point to put them within 3 wickets. So Parkinson in already for Kent, obviously, and then the 2 men to come after this. George Garrett, who's shown some stubborn resistance earlier in the season, getting himself, I think, 40-odd in a defensive rearguard action, and Jazz Singh are the 2 to come. But from a mountain to climb, it's gone to something like Everest now, I think, for Kent.
Here's Williams in. Let's run away down towards deep point by Stobo for a single. Takes him to 27. 155 for 7.
I think the chances of a Kent resistance, probably reflected in the crowd this morning. It would be in front of us, it'd be pretty easy to count who's in the ground. It's very sparse indeed.
It is, but I mean the first 3 days was really good crowds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sunday was a brilliant day, and the cricket festival there, the Canterbury Cricket Festival, has been outstanding. It's been a great week for the club. The weather's been excellent. Parkinson defends and there's no run. There's been some good events taking place. We've had a bit of live music, we've had the beer festivals, members meeting, the wreath that was laid yesterday as well, and schools days. We had a couple of thousand kids in, so I'm really pleased that the week has gone so well for the club. And good crowds the first 3 days. It's a shame from Kent's point of view that the cricket's not gone to plan, but everything around it's been a good week. Williams to Parkinson. He's getting all excited there, looking to try and drive that ball away. And the ball slides past the edge of the bat into the gloves of Hurst. And there's no run. Well, he'll want to make this as difficult as he possibly can against his former side, Parkinson. He'd love probably a 75 ball, 2 not out, something like that. That'd be right up his street. 155 for 7 as Williams, with 3 slips in place, comes in and bowls to Parkinson. That just seemed to just get up to him a little quicker than he was expecting. He's played it defensively, but he played it as if the ball just skidded on a little more than what maybe he thought it might do. Yeah, just perhaps a little bit of extra bounce as that ball just came back into him from Williams. Played it well, Parkinson, safely enough. And, there's no run. There's Williams again. At 155 for 7. In and balls. And that's punched up towards mid-off where Bohannon fields. And there's no run. We've got a ring of fielders on the offside, and Lancashire's a cover point, which is Tom Bailey, Jack Blatherwick at cover, and then Josh Bohannon's at mid-off. There's 3 slips, Bell, Jennings and Lavelle. And Nathan Lyons at mid-on, Luke Wells at square leg, so I've forgotten Balderson, he's out there in the distance at long leg. Williams to Parkinson back and across, and he defends away. And the ball trickles up to Bohannon at mid-off, and there's no run. That's the end of the over. 155 for 7, just a single coming off that. Kent trailed by 150 runs.
Yeah, just 91 remaining in the day now, so chip the overs one at a time, Kent maybe, 5 at a time. I'm joking, 155 for 7, it's almost inevitable, but as I was trying to explain to her, which is always tricky, people don't really follow cricket for a start. Explain to our production team today. So just to let you know, this could all be over in half an hour. Could be here late afternoon. Who knows? It's the wonder of the game. It's a strange beast, cricket. Strange and wonderful. Here's Bailey to Stobo, who has looked, as Scott said, he's looked very secure, and that one he just let run off the bat really. He's opened the face and into the offside for a single. He's jogged through very gently.
He's looked as comfortable and as solid in defence as any player, really, for Kent, with the exception maybe of Compton or something like that. But in terms of his defensive approach, yeah, he's been, and indeed in the first innings, he batted really well in the first innings.
He's shown his value to Kent, his first-class game. Short ball from Bailey, always going down the leg side, and Parkinson started, actually just sort of held a pose, didn't he really? He thought perhaps about ducking underneath it, but realised that he was already in a position where the ball was going to whistle past his left shoulder, his front shoulder, and through to the wicket keeper. So he didn't need to sway much out of the way. But no love lost, I'm sure, out there in the middle for Bailey to Parkinson. It gets right behind that one, and there is no run. Yeah, he's had a decent time with the bat, which I'm sure will surprise some Lancashire listeners, but his first-class stats not exactly spectacular, Matt Parkinson, but he's done pretty well this season for Kent with the bat, and long spells with the ball. But something really big being asked of him now for Kent. It's a floating delivery out of the back of the hand, I think, that one. And there was some oohs and ahs from the fielders, but I can only tell you from what I'm seeing, Matt Parkinson has basically just dead batted that in front of him, so it was innovative from Tom Bailey, but excitement for the fielders, not really matched by the mode of batting, I'd have to say. Just like, well, it's floating slowly towards middle stump, I'm going to put my bat in front of it. How about that? 156 for 7, but keeping Parkinson guessing, perhaps Bailey. That goes down the leg side, nothing on it from Parkinson, through to the wicketkeeper, and there's no run, but I won't say it's almost T20, but variation from Tom Bailey, and I think that's a great idea, really, isn't it? He doesn't want Parkinson to get settled whatsoever. This may not be the day to just try and plumb outside off stump. Let's give him something different to think about.
Yeah, it's hit the leg slip in place for a couple of deliveries. Tom Bailey, Jennings at leg slip, he's now gone back to second slip, but they've still got the forward short leg under the helmet.
Indeed, and 2 slips as well for company. Parkinson settles on that one. Up to mid-off, end of the over. 156 for 7 then. Kent, welcome wherever you're joining us. BBC Radio Kent, BBC Lancashire and Manchester, and via the BBC Sport website and app. Online every ball of the cricketing summer. BBC local radio. And here with the pictures from the Kent Cricket Club as well. The online stream via their site. And a certain well-known online site beginning with N. Beginning with Y. Anything in YouTube. There we are. Williams to resume.
Yeah, here he comes to Stobo. Calmly plays that away off his pads, out towards square leg for a single. Takes him to 29 not out, 157 for 7. Bringing Matt Parkinson for Kent back on strike. Third slip comes back into play, so they've got the 3 slips again. And, 3 on the offside. Actually, third slip's going to relocate to short extra cover instead. So Lavelle was positioned next to his captain, but now it's short extra cover. So 2 slips, point cover, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, and a fine leg. Williams stomping his way back in, balls again. Left by Parkinson, and through it goes to Hurst. So the 4th and final day of this fixture, as indeed it is around the country. We've had just the 1 result so far, so all the other games are going into the 4th day. The only result so far in this round of championship fixtures came at Scarborough yesterday, where Yorkshire beat Gloucestershire by an innings and 22 runs. So a good win for the Yorkies. Scarborough, as Williams balls again to Parkinson. Guided away through the offside, out toward backward point for no run. And every other match heading into the 4th day in the Division 1 fixtures elsewhere. Essex needing 390 runs to win, with 8 wickets remaining. So Durham need 8 wickets, Essex 390 runs on the last day. Nottinghamshire are leading Somerset by just 90 runs, but they've only lost 1 wicket in their second innings. 200 for 1 leads Somerset by 90. Williams for Parkinson, good looking shot. Just punched it down the ground. Live comes across to his left, Lyon to his left to field, and there's no run. Warwickshire against Hampshire. Hampshire being Kent's next destination. Warwickshire needing 444 runs to win. Hampshire requiring 8 more wickets. They declared their second innings on 553 for 6. And Williams to Parkinson. That's run away off the side half of the bat, shall we say. And towards the 3rd man region, but for no run. So Warwickshire needing 400 plus runs to win on the final day, or to bat through the day. Hampshire requiring 8 more wickets. And Worcestershire trail Surrey by 57 runs, and they're 6 wickets down, 221 for 6 at New Road. Williams to Parkinson, it's defended. There's no run, just a single coming off the over, 157 for 7. That's how things are looking in Division 1. And in Division 2, Glamorgan against Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire lead Glamorgan by 49 runs with 6 wickets remaining in their second innings. Derbyshire require 380 runs to beat Middlesex. They're 15 for 1. And Leicestershire need 290 runs to beat Sussex at Hove. But they've only got 3 wickets remaining, so Sussex requiring 3 more wickets to win the match.
Here at Canterbury, very similar for Lancashire, looking for the 3 wickets to finish off the Kent tail and take the 16 points plus their bonus points, 7 of them as well. That's hit Stobo, I think. He's sort of flinched at it. I think that's hit the body, so yeah, may have just hit the left upper arm and gone through. He's just flexing there, Charlie Stobo. Umpire saying, "Are you okay?" Stobo's just sort of rubbed where he's going to have a big bruise on his body from that bouncer from Bailey. And a minute shake of the head. The umpire's saying to the physio, "Nah, stay there, he's all right." He's a tall Australian who's showing no fear. So, yeah, it just came off the body there, the bouncer. At not inconsiderable pace from Bailey. He's got bat on that. It was a shout. They think maybe that was getting towards pad, but Stobo has played it back at the bowler and there's no run. Just talk about Matt Parkinson's batting exploits for Kent this season. So got himself a very handy 25 in a draw against Somerset, first game of the season. Then extended his career high score, 39 against Surrey in a losing cause, and then 48 against Essex again in a losing cause against side from just over the bridge in a game here. Stobo defends that one and there's no run. So yeah, he's batted well and patiently.
Yeah, because they were long innings, weren't they? He faced a lot of balls for those runs, didn't he?
It's looking at the 48 against Essex, that was 2 hours plus, I think.
Right.
And
good effort. None of that today, Matthew.
You could say mates do that more, but he's
don't get too ambitious.
Could have had a 1 in front of that 48 or 4 or 5 hours to the 2 hours. Stobo sways out of the way of that one through the wicket-keeper. And there's no run. He's been... What you saying with Charlie Stobo? That I've only seen him bat in this innings, but maybe stubborn isn't the right word, but he's not playing at anything he doesn't need to, it seems to, at this point.
It looks like he's got a very assured kind of technique, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Defensive technique in particular. We're not sitting played too many attacking shots in this innings, but that's not the nature of it. He did in the first innings. It looks like a pretty well rounded batter. I'm just looking at his batting record, first-class record. He's not played many first-class games.
As Bailey comes in, 5th ball of this over, and just nudges that into the offside from a ball that's on 4th stump and not really doing anything, and that'll be a single.
He's played 18 first-class matches, of which most of, or all of them, apart from this one for Kent, have been for Western Australia. He's got 450 runs in first-class cricket from his 18 games. He's averaging 17, but he does have a 50. But no, he's shown he's a pretty well-organised batter. He's been pretty immaculate, hasn't he, really, defensively. Done a decent job in both innings. He's done his bit and he's bowled well. It's other issues really for Kent.
It's Bailey to Parkinson. He's had a bit of a go at that one, trying to glance it down the leg side for a boundary. He's missed it, but it's gone way past the stumps and taken by Hurst. End of the over, 162.47. Yeah, 30 from 96 for Stobo so far. Parkinson has a none from 21. But yeah, it's those deliveries faced which will which need to be good for Kent. Will need to rise significantly, I would say. But up just for Kent supporters, just talking about the merest whiff of a chance here. But of course, Lancashire are massive favourites, particularly with Swanepoel having gone early in the piece, updating BBC Radio Kent listeners to tell them much the same. So if you can bear the repetition, it's George Balderson brought on here at the filling end. So the first one's a dot ball through to the wicket keeper. Well, they're trying stubborn resistance, but they have lost a wicket, I'm afraid, Rob. So it's getting the chances will be even more miraculous from a mountain decline, but the very top of Everest now for them. 162 for 7. Effectively, Kent need to bat out the rest of this final day with just 3 wickets remaining. Charlie Stobo, the Australian, has been brilliant so far. Very composed on his first-class debut for Kent. Very compact, as he showed with that shot. Just hasn't really played anything he doesn't need to, which is exactly what Kent need from him to bat long into the afternoon if he can. He's been joined by former Lancashire player Matt Parkinson, who has none from 21 balls. Shows what he's doing as well, just stonewalling at the moment. But Lancashire have taken one of those Kent wickets they need for a victory. That of Bears Swanepoel, the South African, batting with a runner because he's got a hamstring injury. A very good 26 from him, but eventually perished. A high catch to backward point, well taken for 26 runs. He's gone. So still keeping everything crossed, but it's the merest whiff of a chance for Kent of batting out the rest of the day. Lancashire heavy favourites to win this one in the sunshine. But it's a funny old game, cricket. Who knows? Commentary continuing as long as this game does via the BBC Sport website and app with regular radio reports as well, Rob. 163 for 7, and Balderson has 3 balls to bowl in this one. So a single taken by Stobo in what we now see as characteristic fashion. Nathan Lyon is warming up. And often go to that old adage, if you're just trying to catch the captain's eye, I don't imagine seasoned Australian international Nathan Lyon has to catch the eye of Keaton Jennings. I'd imagine if he thinks he's bowling, he will do. And that one's a great ball from Balderson. It's Parkinson has sort of moved on off stump towards it and been beaten by the seam away to the wicket keeper, but he's compact enough, got everything tucked in enough that it's gone through harmlessly in the end. So Balderson replacing Will Williams at this end, and maybe continuing at the other end. I don't know if there will be a double change. Nathan Lyon operated from the Nackington Road end yesterday, almost solely I think. Parkinson is behind that one, finds the man at cover, a shortish cover, and there's a dot ball to end the over. 163 for 7. Kent here. 3 more wickets for Lancashire needed for victory, and an imposing 87 overs left in the day. And Lancashire can bat again if they need to as well, of course. So all odds against Kent, all with Lancashire, but they may, as they did yesterday, Scott, just have to be patient for the breakthroughs. But they did very well last session yesterday, taking 4 wickets, and just to add this, if anybody needed to any more reasons why Lancashire should win this match and Kent should not, the new ball's due in 18 overs, and that'll be before lunch. So it may even be, if the wickets don't fall, that might be the turning point as well for Lancashire. But
yeah, I think I spoke to Dale Benkistan, the Lancashire head coach, last night, and obviously the Bahan and Wells partnership is the standout kind of headline thing. The double century for Bahan, and they batted magnificently, those two in Bahan. It's a great effort to get to a double century, but as much as that, wrapped in around it is the fact they're taking 17 wickets on a pretty flat pitch. It's an equally impressive effort, really. So we see Lyon for the first time from the Nackington Road end, bowling to Stobo. It's played back along the ground. There's no run. Lyon is in over the wicket and bowls. That's nudged away down to the onside. There is a short leg, so Bell's under the helmet at short leg. That went low to his left. It's picked up by Bahanan, who's at mid-wicket. There's 3 boundary riders on the leg side. There's a long on, there's a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square leg. It's Lyon bowls and Stobo defends. And there is no run. 63 for 7. 1 wicket in the innings. Harry Finch went out off the bowling of Nathan Lyon yesterday. Stobo off the back foot, takes a single through mid-on. Moves to 32 and 64 for 7. Yeah, Finch actually looked nicely set. He was using his feet quite a lot to Lyon and looking to try and get forward, and just took a little step down the pitch and chipped it straight to Bohannon, short mid-wicket. For the wicket that Lyon got yesterday. Bailey has picked up 3 in this innings. Williams has picked up 2 and Balderson with the other. And the top score in this innings could soon be Charlie Stobo, because he's on 32. Lyon in balls, and Parkinson still looking for his first run. Turns his delivery from Lyon down to short fine leg for no run. Compton making 37's the top score so far, and Stobo's on 32. 3 around the bat as Parkinson waits for Lyon, who's in and bowls. It's turned away into the onside, and there's no run, so he's still on 0, Matt Parkinson. From 26 deliveries, Stobo's on 32. We've had 40 minutes of play. Lancashire have picked up 1 of the 4 wickets that they require on this final day. Kent 164 for 7.
Good morning to all our listeners. Andrew in Japan. Morning, Andrew. He says, watching the last rights with you. Nice festival. Shame about the results. Says a Kent supporter. Always great to hear from you, Andrew. As Alderson through to Stobo, leaves that to shoulders arms as it goes. Seems away to the wicketkeeper, and there's no run. And Andrew showing stubborn resistance there as well as the Kent batters.
It's a good effort, Andrew.
He will not go until the very end.
No, you stick with your stubborn resistance. Well done.
I was going to say, especially with the time difference, it's
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
It's a great effort. Here's Balderson to Stobo. Does it the onside? And there's a shout from Balderson because he slightly played across his front pad, but he's again just played it conservatively and on the ground. Bailey fields at mid-wicket, and it's another run for Charlie Stobo. 33 now from 105. David on the emails, kentcricket@gmail.com for fans of Kent and Lancashire, or if I'd like to say you're a happy neutral and just want to know what's going on between these two sides. At the moment in the bottom reaches of County Championship Division 1, Parkinson's behind that one, straight back to the bowler, and there's no run. David Hurren here says, is it me? Or is this relatively heady heights up the batting order for Matt Parkinson? I thought he tended to come in lower for Lancashire, was my memory playing tricks. I think you're probably right, David, actually, in that respect. So Matt Parkinson would not normally be at 9 for Lancashire.
No, it's quite high.
As Balderson bowls to Parkinson, and he defends that up to mid-on. We're talking about his career highs, him increasing that twice in the in his early days with Kent. So he's now 48 against Essex a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I think it says something about the strength of Lancashire's lower order and the relatively sparse nature of this Kent side in terms of injuries coming to this game as well.
Yeah, it's been battered, really, haven't they, by injury problems. We've last few days we've gone through the difference between the Kent side in this match compared to the side that beat Lancashire at Old Trafford. Just
5 remaining from that, which wasn't that long ago. As Parkinson places into the offside, no run.
And they're all, obviously, there would be players that would be in Kent's first team. They're not missing kind of broader squad players. They're missing members of their starting 11, really, aren't they? So. Yeah, it's been tricky. It's a lot of young-ish players in that side, a relative inexperience in the team, and it's not been a tough week for Kent, hasn't it, really? But look, they're working hard last night, and they're doing the best again tonight, trying to make this difficult for Lancashire.
Balderson to Parkinson, works off his hip, does well actually there. Almost runs down George Lavelle as he goes for that run. He's going for a second as well, working hard to get there. And he is off the mark. He has 2 from 30 now, just Matt Parkinson, but 167 for 7. Yeah, it's a good point, and it's no discredit to anybody who's in this Kent 11, but I think it's the sort of the aggregate effect of that in terms of injuries is Jack Leaning's fit, he's in the side. Joe Denley is fit, he's in the side. Wes Agar, of course, has gone away with injury. Nathan Gilchrist, if he was available. It's things like that. So you might have some of these younger, less experienced players in the side, but sort of combined effect, certainly, those players will make a big difference to Kent. But
Jack Leaning was in the nets this week, wasn't he?
He was, so yes, was in the nets yesterday. So yeah, he's had a break in the left hand, so that's very promising for Kent. I'm not sure if he'll be in the squad for Hampshire, but obviously that's a great possibility. 167 for 7, but teams get injuries, and Lancashire will play better than Kent.
It's defended by Stobo. Towards the leg side, there's no run.
And I would say that from Ben Compton as well, who's, I would say, brutally honest. Not brutally honest, just honest about the way the two sides have performed.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about what he said. For those with us as Lions in bowls, it's in the air, it's the left of short leg by Stobo. Out to mid-wicket for a single, 34 he moves to, 168 for 7. What was kind of the gist of the Compton chat last night at the close of play?
I mean, in summary, he said that they've been outplayed, so outskilled, he said, in this match, on the receiving end of an excellent blueprint on how to play 4-day cricket.
Lion to Parkinson, forward in defence, no run.
So there was no dressing up, and obviously he was crestfallen. His place in the side, I suppose, as well. Said, I think I'm in reasonable form, but it's not good enough from any of us, effectively. So, yeah, came out and wasn't hiding behind anything.
Parkinson forward to Lyon. Coming down towards the Lancashire fielder, George Balderson at backward point, no run.
I think he does him great credit as well, because he's one of those that probably can hold his head up with what he's done in this match so far for Kent. But
Lyon to Parkinson, that's defended, no run. Well, if you're a Kent supporter, I guess what you want to hear from a difficult few days is you want to hear someone come out and speak pretty honestly, don't you? And clearly Ben Compton has done that, come out and fronted up, and this might not be what Kent fans want to hear, because they want the team to do well. Parkinson plays and misses and there's no run, but you can't really ask much more from one of the senior guys in the team to come forward at the close of play. It was a long old day, obviously. Yesterday it's been a long 3 days for Kent. But to come out front up and speak honestly rather than trying to paper over the cracks or whatever, I think that's all you can ask for from one of the senior players in the Kent side. So I think he should take great credit for that. Because that's not the easy thing to do neither. It's been a difficult few days. So the same way, Lancashire lost 3 games on the spin in April. I mentioned this before, and they've not lost 3 games on the bounce in Championship cricket since 2001. So that is from Lancashire's level that they're at. That was a really, really poor April, and a really poor run of results and performances largely. And to their credit, they every game they've come out and they'd front up and they won't try and shirk away from it. And you got to give guys credit for that, I think.
Balderson to Stobo, who once again is everything in line on off stump, plays it back at the bowler, and there's no run.
Because it can happen. Teams lose games. You get into that's just part of sport, isn't it? You're not going to win every match. You're going to find moments where it's difficult, and I guess it's how you kind of conduct yourself during those times, and you hope that you get through it and start winning games again.
That's Balderson then. Second ball of his over to Stobo down the leg side, just helped by Stobo. That's the glance down for 4 runs. It just looks remarkably compact. We have to say, to give the bowlers credit here, this pitch is really not doing anything for them. But Stobo's approach is exactly right for me. It's easy to say. Again, players aren't robots. It's very easy to say, don't play the bad balls. But he's not playing anything he doesn't need to. Something's within his arc. He's not playing with any aggression either. So mostly his shots are going on the ground. Also has to try and find a way through. And that was a pleasant clip up to mid-on and a single taken.
The game that kind of looms large on the horizon from a championship point of view for Kent is the game on the back of the One Day Cup, isn't it? The first game back after the T20 group stage is finished and the One Day Cups campaign's finished is Worcestershire away, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the big game. Hopefully, from Kent's point of view, they go into that match with players back fit and a much healthier looking squad, really.
I guess from a Kent supporters' point of view, they would also say, put words in everybody's mouth, but this was a big one for Kent and it was a big one for Lancashire as well. And that's from a supporter's point of view, completely understand that. That's a massive disappointment, albeit, you know, there are injury problems with Kent 11. It's like, well, this one felt like a really key fixture to take points, at least a draw from, which they could still do, obviously, but Parkinson not to mid off. It looks like Lancashire will win this. 173 for 7. Looks all ends up like that. Win it. On a lighter note, David Adding, by the way. Lancashire off to Stockport next. How does
Southport.
Oh, Southport. Sorry.
It's okay.
I was about to say Stockport. He's written Southport as well. Got Stockport on the brain.
It could be Stockport. But I'm pretty sure it's Southport.
I heard Frankie Vaughan's ode to Stockport. Have you heard that song? It's a promotional song. Oh, is he gone? No, he hasn't. Matt Parkinson's ended up on his backside. The Lancashire wicketkeeper and slips think it hit something. It may have done. It was not very decorous from Matt Parkinson, I have to say. He's more or less, in trying to sway out of the way of a shortish ball from Balderson, has ended up on his backside. Has it touched anything? I think it's very much hope from Lancashire that maybe it's hit a forearm or something like that. But, yeah, it's not looking good on the replay. Effective, though, from Matt Parkinson. He's not out. There's close fielders all around now. Another bouncer or short ball. He gets underneath that one. It's finished quite low. And an attacking field with a slip and a short leg and 2 men on the leg side as well for an almost leg trap for Lancashire. But that's the end of that over. And Parkinson survives it. 2 from 37 balls for him. Stobo has 39 from 110. Southport, as you say. Lancashire off to Southport next. People thought it was Stockport, but they were wrong. How does Scott rate their ice creams, being a seaside location? There's the really important stuff from David here. Kent at Hampshire, what are the highlights of being there? Note the hotel at the ground is dog friendly. There we go. I'm not taking a dog to that hotel, David, but it's an absolute luxury for us, as pampered as we are as cricket commentators, not only to at Old Trafford, of course, having a hotel on the ground, but there's a hotel on the ground at the Rose Bowl, as was.
Utilitarian.
Thank you.
That's it.
Forget the current sponsors, but so that's always, David. That's always a wonderful thing. Being able to wander down or wander up to the gantry, actually, as it's actually in the hotel block. It's like a very short commute.
Yeah, you can't be late for work, can you, when you stay in there?
You shouldn't be.
No. Wells replaces Lyon, who might switch to this end maybe as he comes in and bowls to Stobo. And that's worked off the back foot through mid-wicket, and Stobo is back for 2. He's now the top run scorer in the innings for Kent. 41. Previous highest, Ben Compton. 175 for 7.
I say beware the complacency. That's the sort of thing that sets in with me. It's only 5 minutes away. Wait a minute, it's 5 to 11.
Wells to Stobo. That's left. And through to Hurst. No run.
Yeah, Southport as an out ground, probably.
No, I'm a big fan. Like
but
Southport. Yeah, really enjoy going to Southport. So looking forward to that. I hope the weather forecast is all right. Looks, I mean,
oh yeah, I
looks
haven't checked.
Well, look, I was told this morning that it looks a bit dodgy. Wells to Stobo, through to the keeper, and there's no run. But hopefully the forecast is all right. But no, Southport and Birkdale Cricket Club. So they've been playing host to first-class cricket for years and years and years, and in a sequence of hosting Lancashire now for probably 3 or 4 years on the spin. Oh, it's always good games there as well. Dabbed away by Stobo into the offside, no run. They tend to get a result if you get the good weather, and they tend to be really good games of cricket. Like there was a good game last year against Hampshire. There's been some good games previously. Somerset was a good match a few years ago. The Durham game, which actually Lancashire lost, but it was a belting 4 days of cricket. So yeah, there tends to be a decent week there. Wells to Stobo. That's driven to mid-off. And there's no run.
Yeah, relatively cool it's looking Southport next week. So
take my jacket.
15 degrees on Sunday.
Well, that's 10-degree drop from what we've got.
Absolutely. And cloudy, but
get the thermals out.
Get the big winter coat. Absolutely.
Wells to Stobo, forward in defence, and there's no run. End of the over. Let's see if Lyon's going to return from this end. Having been replaced by Luke Wells from the far end. 175 for 7. Stobo on 41, Parkinson on 2. Deficit is 130 runs.
But yeah, as far as the utility bowl. Thank you, Scott. At Hampshire, well-appointed ground, I think. I like the fact it's a bowl. As a spectator, I think, never mind what the media think. As a spectator, you feel like you're on top of the action there. Very much. I think it's it can be. There's absolutely no shade. It's there, so around most of the ground. So great if you're a sun worshipper and it's sunny. Less so if it's not. But Nathan Lyon then, from changing ends to this pavilion end to Parkinson. Pushes that to Lavelle. There's no run. But I didn't realise the hotel there was dog friendly, David. So, I mean, I don't have a dog. I could borrow a neighbour's dog. Just
to take it down to
fancies 4 days at Southampton, and that's aggressive from Parkinson. He swept that away, but fielded on the boundary by Bailey. Come out of his shell there, Matt Parkinson, for a single. 3 from 39 now, 41 from 116 balls. I'm not sure what Kevin James would make of that.
Having a little dog in the commentary box.
Yeah, on the gantry. There's room to move around the gantry, I suppose.
Plenty of room, yeah. You could just
take
wander free.
Walk around the ground at lunch, maybe.
The Telegraph Woods on the opposite side, you can walk around there.
Yeah.
That's perfect to take a dog down to Southampton.
If this time I'll get a dog, David, before Sunday.
Can you adopt one before Sunday?
Indeed, yeah. Get a lovely rescue dog. And it's a Lion to Stobo. Defends that to the man at silly mid-off. He shouldn't be so flippant, obviously. I'm not be doing that, listeners, in case anyone's wondering. So silly mid-off, George Lavelle. It's Bell under the helmet at short leg and a slip in as well as Nathan Lyon bowls. It's a fairly short mid-wicket as well, or very wide mid-on. But Stobo, I think you know what I'm going to say. He's played that gently into the offside and taken a single. It's been gentle from Stobo, not taking any risks, and this is a knock of some character, despite, obviously, notwithstanding the fact this pitch is not doing very much for anybody, spinner or seamer. Parkinson, very forward defensive, gets well forward, certainly for his stature. Yeah, that's Stobo's stats at the moment. How many boundaries he scored, but Line to Parkinson, once again gets very far forward outside the off stump. Nathan Lyon holds his pose, hands on knees, looking down towards the stumps at the far end. Penny for his thoughts there. It's not turning, Nathan, I think, will be the thing he's thinking to himself there. But Stobo just 4 boundaries in his 41 and 118 balls so far. Just looking to see how long he's been at the crease. It is a long watch for him. It's 155 minutes. So yeah, about 2.5 hours so far. But he served his side well here. Lancashire still honing in on victory, 177 for 7. Effectively, they need to take a wicket in one session, 2 in another, and 1 in the final one if they want to wrap this up, and that would do it. There's still 81 remaining, so Kent surely can't hold out for that, and Lancashire look like they're still heading for what will be a very well-deserved victory across the 4 days.
It's going to be Wells. It's a little burst from the seamers this morning, Bailey, Williams and Balderson, and now it's spin from both ends. Cut away, just dropped a little short there. There's a sweeper on the cover boundary. Single for Stobo. Moves to 43 not out. Brings Parkinson on strike. Wells wants his fielders just to get a little nearer, so the leg side fielders, deep mid-wicket and backward square leg, are creeping in probably 30 yards or so. There's 3 around the bat, slip, silly point, short leg. All 3 wearing the helmets, all crouching down, waiting for a chance to run away by Parkinson to Balderson, who's at short third man. 78 for 7, the first lap of the day from the Lancashire backroom staff. As they meander their way around the boundary rope, just out towards our left in front of the new flats. Wells to Parkinson down the leg side. Hurst hopping to his left. The ball nestles into his gloves and there's no run. Tall leg spinner Wells. from the Nackington Road end into his 9th over of the innings. And the decisions to move Lavelle from front of the batter to behind him. Now got the slip and the leg slip, as well as the short leg. He's getting forward, Parkinson to Wells. Next delivery, the ball ricochets down to the leg side, where Bell fields. And there is no run. Beaten on 3, Matt Parkinson. 44 balls faced. 2 balls left of the over. Wells for Lancashire. Comes over the wicket balls again. That snicked through to Jennings. It didn't look like it watching it live. Yeah. Umpire, more importantly, didn't think it did neither.
He's got some good bounce, certainly, Luke Wells, hasn't he, there, but
it went up in appeal.
I suppose it... I mean, we can't really tell from here, but
no,
it could have brushed the glove, I suppose, or even the replay, that's going to be very difficult to tell, isn't it?
Well, not out the call, 178 for 7.
There was an anxious look, though, wasn't there, straight away from Matt Parkinson, the umpire.
A brief look over his shoulder, didn't he? Comes back into him, he does well to keep it out. And there's no run. But actually, what we've seen, that delivery there, is actually one beat the bat. We've not seen too much of that, really, so far. We've had an hour of play, 178 for 7. Stobo 43, Parkinson unbeaten on 3.
Yeah, Stobo, 119 balls now into the over. It's not going to give the news to the Lancashire listeners. Obviously, it has taken a wicket in the first hour, which is great for them. Swanepoel's resistance ended by the bowling of Tom Bailey. Double spin now for Lancashire. With 11 overs to go until the new ball, they might well do this. Just a spin from each end. Just try and winkle these two out. Or at least one. Stobo again plays a very conservative shot for a single. 44 for him. It's a good innings. Line over the wicket. Parkinson goes for the sweep and finds Tom Bailey on the boundary. All well on the ground for Parkinson, so rotating the strike. These two. But you're very welcome to get in touch, like a number of listeners have during the 4 days so far. Give you the ways and means in a minute. Is Nathan Lyon to Stobo. Opens the face on that one, just spinning into him against the spin. Into the offside. Single taken behind square. So single off each ball of this Nathan Lyon over so far. But at BBC Kent Sport on X or at BBC Lancs Cricket, kentcricket@gmail.com for your emails. So Parkinson just takes the bottom hand off as he plays this to the onside, the man at short leg. Who is much better under the helmet there. Line once more to Parkinson. It's not gripping a great deal, and Parkinson dead bats that. Straight back at the bowler. Line again over the wicket. The Australian to Parkinson again sweeps him and again finds Tom Bailey just inside the boundary. Single for Parkinson. He moves on to 5 from 50 balls. Stobo 45 from 121. These two came together in the 57th over. So 22 overs these two have gone so far. Stobo 45, Parkinson 5. It has been very stubborn resistance, exactly what Kent need. Lancashire needing 3 more. Wickets, 79 minimum overs available to Lancashire in the day. As Luke Wills bowls to Parkinson. Forward defensive, Updating BBC Radio Kent listeners. .182 for 7. Slip, leg slip, short leg in. As Luke Wells starts his overs. They're still out there, which Rob says that Kent are still putting up stubborn resistance against what looks like an almost inevitable Lancashire win. So Kent 182 for 7. They've lost a wicket this morning. They only have 3 wickets left. Lancashire already lead them by 123. Kent aren't going to get anywhere near that anytime soon. So they are just basically trying to block out the rest of the day, showing resistance with their tail enders then, trying to see off the Lancashire attack for a draw. It would be an astonishing result, make no mistake about that, if Kent were to save a draw from this. Lancashire have bossed all 3 days of this game so far and taken a wicket in the first session as well. That of Bayer Swanepoel batting with the run of the injured Kent bowler, going for 26. But since then, 23 overs. Charlie Stobo, who has 45 now, has shown a very great deal of composure. The Australian overseas bowler for Kent, batting for his life here. This one pops up off the bat of Matt Parkinson at the other end, who scored just 5 of 53 deliveries. That's pretty slow going. He doesn't need to score runs, he needs to stay there. That's the exact motto for Kent for the rest of the day. Can they do it? They got through the first hour and they're still out there fighting at the moment, Rob. So there's still a chance. Commentary continuing while the game does via the BBC Sport website and app with those regular radio reports too. This one's played into the offside by Parkinson. Into the offside. 4 dot balls so far. He has 5. Stobo has 45. And got through an hour. Just 5 more to go. The day. Or perhaps 6. Is Wells to Parkinson. Drives it wider mid-off. Another dot ball. To end the over. It's a maiden from Luke Wells, but Parkinson's strike rate is low, as I was just explaining, but every time I do an update, another half hour for BBC Radio Kent until our presenter, they're still there, which means the game is still going on, which means that Kent haven't lost yet. And that's really the way it works, isn't it? But yeah, Lancashire looking for these 3 wickets. I was saying as well while you were doing your update that 71 overs gone. I would imagine that they will use spin from each end, Lancashire, until the new ball's available, and then probably take that, and that could well be the turning point.
Yeah, and they'll get to that new ball pretty quickly, won't they, with Lyon and Wells bowling. Lyon to Stobo. Goes back, trying to turn it towards the leg side. The ball thumps back down the pitch.
Kept low, didn't it, that one? It was a stifled appeal, wasn't it?
Well, so yeah. Probably because he went back to it.
Yeah.
There's Lyon in again and bowls. Just play away. Up towards mid-off, there's no run.
The spin was taken down leg side, so I just
yeah.
thought because it hit him firmly on the pad, the front pad, but yeah, wrong trajectory.
It was a good thump, wasn't it, off the pad? Ball spinning into Stobo and probably travelling away down the leg side. Conversation between the captain and the bowler here. I think they've got men popping up all over the place of Lancashire, constantly chopping and changing and trying to find ways. So plenty on the leg side. Parkinson on strike. There's a slip, there's a short leg, there's 2 short mid wickets, there's a short fine leg, there's a mid on, there's a deep square leg. Lyon to Parkinson. Forward he goes, dabs the ball calmly away. Scooped up by Barner, who hands it to Nathan Lyon. And balls to Parkinson. Well, that's deflected down towards fine leg. I'm not sure there's any bat on that. It's down towards the boundary rope, and he'll come back for 2 leg byes. Yeah. So he remains on 5. Score moves on to 185 for 7. Lyon to Parkinson is off the front foot. It's pushed away to the onside. Barnon's at mid wicket to field. And Again, there's no run. Beaten on 5, Matt Parkinson Lyon for the final time in the over. And he gets right forward and defends. And the ball bounces back to Lyon, who collects his cap from the umpire. It's the end of the over, 185 for 7. So 120 still behind. Jack Blatherwick just doing a few stretches. Not of the seam bowlers Lancashire have got, he's the one that's not been used yet. They started with Bailey and Williams, a little bit from Balderson, and then quickly straight to spin.
Rush of emails coming in here. Keen to get them addressed, because you never quite know. This tends a good match up with a Kent wicket, obviously, but Mike's on kentcricket@gmail.com talking about the analogies I'm using is how much of a mountain Kent have to climb. There's Stobo on the back foot, pushes that up to mid-on, and he takes a single. He goes on to 47. I talk about it's a mountain to climb, going to an Everest to climb after Swanepoel. He says, how about next one will be, when the next wicket falls, Mount Huygens, he says, a tiddler by comparison, a mere 5,300 metres. It's a bit harder to reach as it's on the moon. How about that one? Okay, so it's gone down the leg side, and wicketkeeper's missed it in a flash of the bat from Matt Parkinson. He's got nothing on it though. It's buys down the leg side, and Matthias was just momentarily upset with himself. He didn't get there, but he wasn't given much chance. A huge flash of the flurry of the bat from Matt Parkinson. So might go with that one, Mike. Thank you very much.
What's it called?
Shooting for the moon. Matt Huygens,
okay.
Hugens. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. Mike brings us some imaginative emails all the way through the summer. This is. I think I'm being complimentary there, Mike. I'm not quite sure. Is that a euphemism? A ball into the offside. Single taken. He'll take that in good part, I hope. Or there'll be a stiff letter to my editor coming up. Eric, Rose's fan. Ken putting up a straight bat today, as expected, he said. He says. Been a Rose's fan since the 50s, the days of Cyril Washbrook, Brian Statham, etc. It's Wells bowls to Parkinson. Dot balls, he defends that. We need this win today, he said. Should not be down to their holding the rest of the league up, he says. Need a good 4 days at Southport next week as well. What you got live from Prince Edward Island in Canada?
Oh, nice.
I've enjoyed life the past 50 years.
Lovely.
Thank you so much for your kind comments as well, Eric. Sounds wonderful, I have to say. Do love Canada. It's, I'm hoping that's Canada. He's going to say. No, it's just off the Amazon coast. It's single. No, sorry. No run to the offside. Hit straight into the ground by Parkinson and rears up towards. And that's Tom Bailey. He's been brought in at short cover now. He's got a silly mid-off short leg and a slip for company as well, Matt Parkinson. They're trying to crowd him out here. Played low past the man at silly mid-off to Bailey at short cover, and that's the end of the over. 190 for 7. Another over elapses. Will from Kendal. Great to hear from you again, Will. Can Worcestershire get a draw against Surrey? There's more chance of Graham Norton and Martina Navratilova. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Thus, Lancashire will go 15 points above the then 9th placed Worcestershire. This is Will counting his chickens, but I think it's reasonable to go near the flock of chickens at this point from a Lancashire point of view, I would say. Furthermore, Warwickshire will do well to get a draw against Hampshire. If they fail, Lancashire will go 6 points above the then 8th placed Warwickshire. So, if Lancashire win. Mike, doubting your Lancashire credentials, you certainly are saying getting the thermals out for Southport, says Mike. Can't believe that coming from a Lancashire man. He says you're faking your accent. He wonders.
Here's Lyon to Stobo. Let's dab back down the pitch, and there's no run.
Well, it does end that with, got to find some humour in this dismal performance from Kent. There we go. It's been called out, Scott Reed.
There's Lyon. In and balls, Stobo. Oh, just take a single, drops the ball away into the offside, through for 1.
Is it time to reveal that you're actually a minor royal, born and bred in deepest Surrey. Is that
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've been found out at last.
It's all right. You told me that in strict confidence, but I think...
I tell you, we'll notice the difference, won't we? 10-degree drop next week.
Yeah.
Oof. Lying over the wicket to Parkinson. Forward and defends, and there's no run.
If you're in one of those traditional old English houses like we live in, it's a blessed relief in the evening, certainly. It gets a bit warm at night. Not really geared up this country, are we? We have houses that retain heat, so during a heat wave it can... day's beautiful, I won't gainsay that, but yeah, a bit sweltering trying to sleep. So you have my sympathies if you're suffering from that, certainly. But yeah, it's lovely to have this glorious scene in front of us. Much more glorious if you're a Lancashire supporter. Closing in 191 for 7 on this victory.
The change to the field, leg slip coming in front of the batter. It's pushed right through his legs, I think. Parkinson just giving it the old nutmeg there to George Lavelle. 191 for 7. Here he is again, lying in and bowls much quicker this time to Parkinson. Felt that might be a quicker ball because he just walked back to his mark, looped around and came straight back in. There was no sense of just hesitating or delaying a fraction, and he did. He fizzed it in much quicker, and this time just takes a step to get going and in and bowls. Parkinson pulls it away. It's in the air. Oh, dropped. Bailey puts it down. Parkinson hurries back for 2. And not seen that type of shot really from Parkinson so far, from his 69 deliveries, or his 68 previous balls, but ball number 69, he fancied taking it on, in the air, down towards fine leg. Bailey's in position. Put it down. Parkinson survives, 193 for 7. And he comes back for 2 as well, so the deficit 112. He'll have enjoyed that, Matt Parkinson, seeing Tom Bailey put that down. I think it might remind him of that a little bit later on.
I mean, he just looked really awkward as the ball came down. Obviously he has dropped it and he's looking up to the skies. Is he looking to the sun? Not particularly, I wouldn't have thought. Got himself in position, he's right underneath it.
Yeah.
But those inexplicable things. It's Wells to Stobo now. The obdurate Charlie Stobo. They're on 41. Just pats it into the ground next to the man at Silly Mid-Off. Stephanie on kentcricket@gmail.com. Great to hear from you, Stephanie. Sat at my desk in Cleveland listening to the cricket, wishing I'd taken the week off. It has been glorious, to be fair. It's a perfect week for cricket, says Stephanie. Tempted to have a trip to Kent next year to watch there. We'll just see if the 2 teams are playing in the Championship next year. Into the offside again from Stobo. Very similar shot, but kept actually further along the ground. She says, however, hoping that Lancashire pull things off before tea. Go well, lads. Stephanie, thank you so much for that. But yes, as I can completely understand that, this has been the perfect week, isn't it, for cricket in the sunshine. An absolute picture, this ground as well. Wells to Stobo goes on the drive. We haven't seen that shot from him very much, I don't think, Scott, but the drive's it. Will that be 4? It's really well saved. Or has it run onto the rope? It has, indeed.
50 as well.
And 50 for Charlie Stobo off 129 balls, and that's his 5th 4. They have been a rarity in a stubborn knock by the Australian. Well done to Charlie Stobo. This is an innings of great character. One of the very few things perhaps that Kent fans can take out of this game, but he's shown such maturity in this knock, such consideration, concentration as well. Gets himself a 4 to bring up that 50. Wells bowls to him now. Again, he jabs it down to the ground near his off stump, and the man mid-off has to run off for that as Stobo takes a single, and well-deserved applause for that 50. 53 now from 130 balls, but yeah, brought it up in 129.
It's a brilliant effort. I mean, we mentioned a lot about how well he's batted in both innings. This is a fine effort.
Right, here's Parkinson now, has 2 men short in front of the wicket on the onside, and slipping as well. He's got bat and pad, and oh, he's gone. He's gone, he's squeezed the bat down with the pad, it's pad first. And Matt Parkinson just almost see him casting his eyes to the heavens there, and Luke Wells has got him. So congratulations for Charlie Stobo, perhaps short-lived, as Parkinson goes at the other end. And 45 minutes until lunch. Parkinson has finally gone. It's been a long knock for him. How many balls was that? Parkinson gone in for 7. LBW to Luke Wells, and the leg spinner has struck, and it's 198 for 8 now, Kent. There's still 107 runs in arrears, and Parkinson getting good applause. I think that's about right as well. His knock there. Trying to see if that's 70 balls for his 7.
Yeah, 70.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. But does Perish finally going. Tom Bailey might be a relieved man after that, after that fairly easy-looking catch in the last over, dropping that one. Parkinson going to Wells the very next over at LBW, and Lancashire closing in on victory, which must surely be theirs on the final day here at Canterbury.
Yeah, well, it was a good effort from Parkinson, hasn't he? He's batted for 70 deliveries. It's a pretty fair decision by the umpire watching back on the replay. And he came out and tried to make it difficult for his former side, and wasn't able to make the most of the drop chance, but batted for an hour and 10 minutes. Not batted for just over an hour, and faced 70 deliveries for his 7. And Wells strikes. So George Garrett, the new batter, to join Charlie Stobo, who continues to go on. Good 50 for him in the middle of all this. And certain losing cause, but he's done his bit in both innings. Actually, I actually thought he bowled pretty well. I'm not sure his figures necessarily reflect that. But Stobo and Swanepoel with the new ball for Kent bowled pretty well, but he's still going with the bat. To Garrett, the new batter. Wells gets his first wicket. Lancashire 2 away.
Yeah, 2 more to go. Ball to come of this Luke Wells over. It's George Garrett to face. They need resistance from him and some. As in comes Wells to Garrett. Plays it off the off stump. Back at the bowler. End of the over. 198 for 8. The new ball available in 5 overs time now as well. So having made the breakthrough before that, Lancashire surely will be optimistic of wrapping this up before lunch on the final day. And taking, not looking what it would be, 7 bonus points as well. So it'd be almost maximum, wouldn't it? One short of a maximum. 23 points from this game.
Yeah, it'd be a good return for Lancashire if that's the case. One, not just one, but one pretty healthily as well. They try and claw themselves clear of the bottom 2. Here's Nathan Lyon. Stobo takes a single. Just eased away off the front foot through the offside. 4-1. 199 for 8. Brings Garrett on strike, so Lyon's got potentially 5 balls here at the new batter. So what does he want? Well, he wants a leg slip, and he wants a slip as well, plus the short leg and singing it off. So there's 4 catching around the bat, and then Blatherwick's just in a catching position, kind of on the sweep, square leg, just going behind square. Lyon comes around the wicket and bowls. Garrett plays off the front foot, pushes away into the offside, no run. Luke Wells Fields and Keaton Jennings, the two slip fielders, leg slip and slip. Just have a little brief chat in between deliveries. Flatter this time from Lyon, in towards the pads of Garrett. It's turned out towards mid-wicket. And there's no run. Balderson Fields fizzes it in towards Lyon, who catches the ball with his right hand and twirls his way back in again. A little bit more flight this time. Forward goes Garrett. Defended to Lavelle, who's under the helmet, close in on the offside. And there's no runs. Just that single off the over so far. That was off the first ball from Stobo. 2 left to come. Just turned to the leg side this time by Garrett. Again, Balderson Fields. And again, there's no run. So 1 more left. Lyon to Garrett. 9-9 for 8, still 106 behind. Lyon around the wicket, bowls. Clipped away, it's gone in between leg slip and short leg. Blatherwick catches up with the ball. Got a single, they've actually got to 200 with that as well, Kent, in their second innings. It does keep Garrett on strike, so I might not be too concerned. It gives Wells the chance to start an over at the new batter, but Kent reached 200, so started 305 runs behind on first innings. Still trailed by 105 runs, but they've reached 200 for 8. Stobo on 54 and Garrett on 1.
Yeah, George Garrett, another one like Matt Parkinson, who it's only his 9th first-class game, but has got his career high score with Kent this season. Actually batting as a night watchman against Surrey here. It's now 48 from 2 and a bit hours. Again, that will go down very well if he can reach those heights again, but Lancashire have other ideas. Wells to Garrett. To mid-on, there's no run. So he's a bit of an unknown quantity in that respect, I would say, from a career point of view. Do you remember that knock against Surrey? And again, a bit like Charlie Stobo, he looked compact and kept concentration, but it's a very different situation. Oh, that skews away, and that's leading edge. That must have turned, because Garrett's got to it. He's looking to play it more or less at Tom Bailey, who's at mid-wicket, and it's gone off to point. So, you see Garrett's facing one way, the ball's gone decidedly the other. But he has survived. That'll please Luke Wells, I'm sure. So, way down the leg side, and that's, I think, beaten Garrett, couldn't get a bat on it. It's bounced behind the line of the stumps. It's beaten a man at leg slip, who's acting as a goalkeeper there, George Bell. Got both hands to it, but I'm afraid that's hit the top corner, George, in football parlance. It's gone for 4. Oh no, beg your pardon, Garrett has got something on it. So I'm not saying that's a miss by Lavelle, because it's gone into the ground, but he's got something on it. George Garrett gets himself 4 runs. Bizarre piece of cricket. Oh, he's done it again. Not a 4. It's again looked to play it into the onside and been deceived by the spin, and it's ended up at backward point. Left-handed George Garrett, so the spin naturally coming into him, and he's looking, I guess, to play against the leg spin of Luke Wells, and that's not worked out for him. Jags away to Will Williams at backward point, but he survives. 204 for 5. Wells to Garrett on off stump, defends it, drops more or less maybe a foot from his left foot. He leaves it alone. He played it with a bat, I should say, right next to his toes. Ball to come. 204 for 8, Kent. Lancashire looking for 2 more wickets. 7 overs until the new ball's available. Down the leg side, a floating delivery. Garrett decides to take that one on, because the spin would bring it into him, but he's not got anything on it. Through the wicketkeeper, and the end of the over. 204 for 8. I would would say from a Ken point of view, a little bit too much excitement in that over from Luke Wells to George Garrett, but he survives it. Goes on to 5 from 12. Charlie Stobo is still there. Fabulous knock from him. 54 from 131.
Worcestershire are 9 down in their match against Surrey, and still 33 behind. So Surrey eyeing up a potential innings victory at New Road. 2:45 for 9. Worcestershire trail by 33. Down Worrell with the latest wicket.
So you're saying the 9th one down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So very close indeed.
There's Lyon to Stobo. Driven down the ground. Ooh. The Lyon picks up and fizzes it back towards Hurst, who takes the catch and flicks off the bails because Stobo was a step or two down the pitch, but he's got back in.
It's on his right shoulder there, Lyon, after that. Yeah, just. But yeah, Stobo did need to get back to his ground. That wasn't a speculative throw, was it? That's
in and ball. Oh, and that's gone through everything down towards the boundary. Oh no, it's got an inside edge. He's got a bat on that. It's been given as 4. I think that's gone spun back in and clipped the inside edge of the bat.
And for
yes, it did.
Yeah. For his compactness and composure, Charlie Stobo absolutely done by that, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Chance.
So close to both the stumps and a catch.
Lyon to Stobo. And that's played back down the ground. There's no run, so Lyon's 2 chances. I'm not sure that Hurst even got anything on it particularly. It kind of just went through everything, but the reaction from Lyon was slightly drooped shoulders in a little sense of frustration. 58 to Stobo, 208 for 8. Lyon balls. Defended, no run.
Update coming for BBC Radio Kent's radio listeners. .208 for 8. Well, that's yes. Charlie Stobo, the Australian, I was admiring how obdurate he's been for Kent in what's a stonewall attempt to bat out the rest of this final day. He's now on to 62. That's his 6-4. It's been a fantastic innings from him, but across the 4 days so far, that's been a rare glimmer of hope for Kent. When Lancashire have absolutely bossed it, they have chipped away another wicket since you last joined us, Rob, as well. Matt Parkinson, the former Lancashire spin bowler, going for 7 of 70 balls. He was stubborn himself, but eventually LBW to Luke Wells, the leg spinner, getting him out. So Kent 212 for 8. Effectively, they have 2 wickets to play with, and they've got to survive 71 overs of this final day to bat out a draw. Can't see it happening. I know sport's funny, Rob, but it would be absolutely hilarious for everyone but Lancashire and their supporters would that happen. Lancashire must surely win this. Indeed so. 212 for 8. As I said, Charlie Stobo's been brilliant, the Australian, making his first-class debut. Certainly brilliant with a bat today, but Lancashire very, very close now to this victory. The new ball also available, which will make things much easier for the fast bowlers as well in just 2 overs. We may be looking at a Lancashire victory before lunch, but hopefully when I speak to you at 1 o'clock, Rob, it'll be that Kent are enjoying their lunch and thinking about a long afternoon's batting. Thank you. 212 for 8. Garrett's on 5. Stobo on 62. You only heard one part of that conversation, but Rob Smith, I think, was our presenter, was quite amazed that we were still playing.
Here's Lyon. Sorry, correction. Wells. Lyon's completed his previous over. Fizzes this one, first one down the leg side to Garrett. And there is no run. I've seen Garrett play a slightly risky shot from Wells in the previous over. With fielders closing, as he gets forward this time and plays off the front foot and defends. Yeah, half an hour left till lunch. Another wicket and that lunch break would be extended, wouldn't it? 9 down.
Yes, yeah,
Play
absolutely.
a little bit longer.
Take half an hour. I think it's half an hour, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
Wells to Garrett. Stobo sends him back as the ball trickles down towards Will Williams at short third man. And there is no run, so still with the 3 catching fielders around the bat, all under their helmet. Nathan Lyon has a suggestion to Luke Wells. So they're pointing here and they're pointing there. Well, Lyon's pointing in one direction and Wells is pointing in the other. And the conversation's ongoing.
Will they come to some sort of peace with that, I wonder?
If I was Luke Wells, I'd probably just do what Nathan Lyon suggests.
That's not unreasonable, I would suggest.
I think.
Oh, crikey, yeah.
Wells is
another short fielder. Well, Williams is going towards Keaton Jennings, sort of waving him away. I'm not quite sure. So they're at odds.
Yeah.
Momentarily.
Williams next to Jennings now as that second slip fielder. Forward goes Garrett. Defends, the ball bounces to mid-on, there's no run.
Some lovely emails coming in, I have to say, but I'm hoping we'll have enough time. Well, in some ways for Kent, I suppose, all their supporters will be hoping there's enough time to read them, and more. Perhaps War and Peace as well.
There's 2 left of this over. Wells to Garrett, forward again. Defends. And there's no run. 1 ball left. And Lancashire drop their fielders square a little deeper, so bat will point and square leg disappearing out towards the boundary. Change of approach from Wells as well. He's going to have a go at bowling over the wicket with his leg spin to Garrett. Is that edged? 2 to Jennings. It is. And Wells gets the breakthrough. Maybe a suggestion or 2 from Nathan Lyon's worked a treat. Change of field, change of approach, bowling over the wicket. And Garrett edges to Jennings. And Wells takes his second wicket. Kent to 9 down.
Yeah, almost it's a regulation wicket, that wasn't it? Just pushing forward, takes the edge. Great bowling, great field placing as it turns out. Last ball of the 79th over, 2-12 for 9. And Kent are all but done now. And a victory. Are they warming up their voices for a victory song? It seems to be a wicket maiden as well for Luke Wells. And Jazz Singh will come out. Last up for Kent. As George Garrett departs for 7. Actually, was it 7?
5.
5, beg your pardon, sorry, yeah, for the statisticians. So, yeah, 1 wicket to take. Jazz Singh will be at the non-strikers end. Thank you to Peter from living in Bucharest, particularly pleased with the Red Rose performance. Thanks for your comments about the commentary, Peter. Very kind of you indeed. David is sitting in his garden in Ferring Village on the coast near Worthing. Watched Kent playing at Tunbridge Wells. Is a favourite, he says, of his. Hope the good weather continues. Tell Scott that Tuscany, where I also live, fantastic, has the best ice cream. But unlike Southport, they don't play cricket. So there we are. Swings and roundabouts. Alan, I'm not sure I'm going to get through your whole email, but sadly thinking this result against Lancs may signify the tolling of the bell to mark the relegation of Kent to Division 2, he says. But he's trying to think positive. Need all your positive thinking now. And Mike says, hot evenings in the summer in England. I need to get myself a futon. Mike, thank you for your recommendation. It's Nathan Lyon to bowl to Charlie Stobo, who pats it into the ground to George Van. There's no run. Do you want the honour here, Scott, with one to... No. He's seen Charlie Stobo bat for about 5 hours, so he's not counting any chickens. So, yeah. Very kind of you. His line then. 3 close fielders around the Australian. Oh, that does turn in towards him. He's absolutely beaten all ends up on the previous over, and he's just jabbed that into the ground near the man at short leg. So that's got a bit of turn and bounce.
Yeah, bounced a bit like that, didn't it? Yeah.
And I have to say, from
He's played it well.
a ground staff point of view, that's probably what you want, isn't it? Just breaking up a little bit on the final day. Not from a Kent point of view, obviously, but Stobo defends that off the off stump.
Did play it well, didn't he? Got it down into the ground. It bounced, spun back in towards him with a bit of extra bounce.
Yeah, it was a surprise delivery. So Lyon to Stobo. Aussies against each other. Stobo calls Jazz Singh through for a run. So single taken. Just looking at Jazz Singh's stats in his short Kent career so far, the young seam bowler. As the field is changing, I'm sure they'll go all-out attack here. 42 runs in his 6 completed innings, so averaging 7 so far, high score of 15. Need hitherto unplumbed depths of talent for Jazz Singh here. This will be an education to start anyway. Nathan Lyon bowling to him. Close fielders all around him. Jazz Singh as Lyon bowls. And he pushes forward there. Could have taken a single. Charlie Stobo says, I don't think Jazz. Hold out for one more ball. I'll face the next 6 if I can. 2:13 for 9. A wicket away from a victory. Lancashire. 1 for 46 for Lyon. 2 for 37 for Wells at the other end. And this one is defended by Jazz Singh. And Lyon just lets it run onto the outside of his boot. Deflects it to his teammate. I think it's George Balderson. That is the end of the over. Nathan Lyon, I think he's coming off the field. He's ended his stint.
Oh, new ball's due, isn't it?
Has the umpire just signalled that they're taking it? Luke Wells, though, no, takes off his cap, so maybe not just yet. They may think that these two have been pinning them down, though Nathan Lyon's
I think he's have a
short departure at least might make you think they might have maybe one more with Wells and perhaps start the seam bowling from this end. Just look at the seam bowlers, Williams and Bailey. They don't look like they're warming up very much. But
I'm sure we'll see Lyon again. I think he's might have a bit of a breather there. 7 overs on the spin, wasn't it? New ball due. Get one of the seamers on from this end. Put your feet up. Get ready for Southport. Be his last game, that, for Lancashire. It's a shame that... I know I banged on about it, but it's a shame that it's worked out that he's been unable to play the full season. It'd been brilliant to see him play some T20 cricket and to have come back in September as well. Still looking to drive away, and there's no run. It's been fascinating to see him play on county cricket in September on old pitches as well, and how he would have performed there for Lancashire at the back end of the season. But yeah, final time for him next week at Trafalgar Road. If you're a Lancashire fan, fancy watching a bit of Nathan Lyon in a Lancashire shirt. Dabbed away by Stobo behind square on the leg side, but for no run. And try and get yourself a ticket for that match. Lyon's final game for Lancashire, and well, we think Jimmy's going to play. Lancashire are hoping he's going to play. So
fantastic for fans of both sides there to watch him play. Yeah.
So if that does turn out to be the case, the Jimmy and Lyon show playing together in the same side. Wells in, forward goes Stobo. He defends up towards mid-on, and there's no run.
Bit jealous, but then of course I'll be taking my new dog to.
You will.
There's
always that. There's the upside is that you'll have your new dog, and
I would love a dog. I have to say, I'm not sure this job is particularly good for a hound, but no,
it's not.
You can take them with you.
Yeah. Wells to Stobo. It's hip driven. One bounce back to the bowler. And there's no run. I don't want to give it away, Stobo. It'd be nice to him if he gets a little not out against his name. He's got almost 100 runs in the match.
Actually, I think he's gone past his career high here, but I'll just check that first class.
Wells to Stobo. Getting driven on the bounce back to Wells off his own bowling. And there is no run.
Yeah, this is his first class high as well, so a landmark for Charlie Stobo. Something to take out of this game, certainly, for him.
Good effort. Wells to Stobo. And that's outside the off stump and through to the keeper. And there's no run. So, is Lyon going to have another go? Are they going to change it and give one of the seamers a go? Will Williams has been warming up. Oh no, Lyon's jogging back on. Here he comes again. Just a little comfort break.
Yeah.
They're going to keep going, Nathan Lyon.
So, yeah, Western Australia against Tasmania. That was the 61 that Charlie Stobo scored back in 2023, so just last year at Perth. Bit of a different match situation. He got himself 61 from 574 for 8 declared for Western Australia. But there we are. Jazz Singh it'll be to face Nathan Lyon then. Bowls another Australian, of course. Donning in his sunglasses. Cap off. A ripper of applause. Of chivying, I suppose, to try and get this last wicket. They need Singh. Studiously watching that one onto the bat. Head right over it. The coaching manual followed to a T. Watching the ball onto the middle of the willow. But Lyon has the wiles and the guile in spades. Miles to Singh now. He goes for this one, and that will clear the infield. It will indeed. It'll go away for 4 over cow corner. Why not? Nathan Lyon has just stared at Jazz Singh. He's gone back to his mark. I don't know if there's a wry smile with that as well, but yeah, so there are no boundary fielders, are there? I think. I think it's more or less an inner circle. No, there's certainly not a man there at long off. Singh fends that one, takes the bottom hand off as he propels it along the ground towards George Bell, not very far away, at short leg. Silly mid off as well. Slip, leg slip. All sorts of close fielders, and then the others around the inner ring, as it would be for T20 and One Day Cup cricket. Defended by Singh. No run. A ball to come of this over for Nathan Lyon. Looking for this one last victim to secure victory. Singh goes for that one. Will it be caught? No, over the head of Balderson, I think, running towards the boundary there. I think he thought he might have been in with a hope, but he was running backward from his position at mid-on and looking over his shoulder, turning round. Can I get my hands to it as it goes towards the boundary? I cannot. So a couple of 4s for Jazz Singh, 8 for him. He's trying to break the shackles with 9 down. 2-2-1 for 9. The deficit's only 84 now, Scott. If they eat that up and start to take time out of the game, it still won't make any difference. Stobo 63, Singh 8, and Lancashire, as I said, looking for this victory, which they so much deserve. But Charlie Stobo still there, 63 from 147 balls. And it'll be Luke Wells to continue, so no new ball taken here.
Here comes Wells. He's asking for an LBW. The umpire says not out. I was distracted because I was just reading on the live text commentary about Lewis Kimber for Leicestershire, who's taken 43 runs off 1 over. What now? So sorry, I was a bit distracted there. So he's reached his century. Wells comes in. Down the pitch comes Stobo. That's in the air, and it's going to land safe. Stobo gets a single. He moves to 64, 229. 2-2 for 9. So he's got to 100 for Leicestershire at Sussex in the county championship off 62 balls, and he's hit Ollie Robinson for 43 from 1 over.
Okay.
Which is, won't be surprised to hear, a new record for the most runs off and over in county championships, 134-year history. Wells in, has got through Singh. He plays forward, and there's no run.
Well, there's astonishing, and there's
that.
Yes.
43 off Ollie Robinson's over. Two for 9. Wells to Singh, and there's no run. So there's 2 sixes and 6 fours in the over, 3 of them from no balls plus a single. That's how he's got to his, how he's got to his 43 from and a single. How he's got to his 43 of 1 over.
Amazing.
Wells in bowls. Singh turns it out towards the leg side, and there's no run. 1 over away from seeing off another one. Don't forget it's 10-1 now, so if it's still 9 down at 1 o'clock, then we're going to keep going for a bit.
He's still swinging as well, isn't he?
Aye.
He's got 3 sixes in the current over.
Wells to Singh. And that's defended, and there is no run. And that is the end of the over. 222 for 9.
So you're in that match, so they're 7 down, Leicestershire, and they still need 130 runs. But as you say, Gimber's taken 43 off 1. He has 155 from 62 balls. No, that can't be right. 82 balls. Sorry. A relatively sluggish 82 balls. 16 fours and 17 sixes at Hove. So there we go.
Lancashire taking the new ball here as well.
What a game that is. Well, perhaps one to catch up with after.
Yes.
If this game is finished before.
Well, I've just seen some highlights of the over.
Yeah.
And
well, it's all highlights, isn't it? We want to look back on. So new ball has been taken. Will Williams then, the New Zealander, 2 for 26 from his 14 so far. Got rid of Marcus O'Riordan, one of the openers yesterday. Joey Everson as well in the third session. And Lancashire gave it 3 overs for the spinners to work with the old ball. Now they're going for seam. Try and blast out this last wicket. Charlie Stobo just trying to loosen up the shoulders there. It's been a long innings from him. 64 from 149 balls. Williams bowls to him, 2 slips in behind him, hits the pad, and it's always going down. And the umpire tends to agree. 2-2-2 for 9. Kent, still 83 short, just of making Lancashire bat again. So
Worcestershire have lost as well. So victory for Surrey. They've bowled Worcestershire out for 273.
That's great news for Lancashire, isn't it? If they win this match, 23 points, will take them above Worcestershire and out of the drop zone, whatever happens. As Williams bowls to Stobo, oh, he's bowled him. Takes the stump out of the ground. Charlie Stobo, 64 from 151 balls. Great knock for him. But overall, that's the one sign of hope for Kent from this defeat, because Lancashire have bossed the 4 days. It's a massive win for Lancashire by an innings. And shortly before lunch on the final day, Will Williams, second ball of the new ball for Lancashire, has taken Charlie Stobo's off stump out of the ground. Absolutely dominated proceedings from the off here. Lancashire bowling Kent out for 244, then racking up a massive 549 for 9 declared. And then what looked a pretty placid pitch, their bowlers have toiled and strived and eventually have won out here with a big, big victory. Kent bowled out for 222. An innings and 83 runs, the final tale of the tape for Lancashire. They take a massive 23 points from this game between the bottom 2 in County Championship Division 1. They will get out of the relegation zone with this win. Fantastic victory for them, dominating this game. Kent will lick their wounds and think about Sunday at Hampshire and just how they're going to get out of the bottom 2. But a big, big win for the visitors here, Scott Reed.
Yeah, superb win for Lancashire. Set up by Josh Bohannon and Luke Wells, an outstanding effort, and those two actually lead Lancashire off the field. The heartbeat of the innings, getting that big first innings score, second double century of Bohannon's career. He heads off first, and Wells following just behind. Those two will take huge credit, and rightly so, for setting up this victory, but it's an outstanding effort by Lancashire to bowl Kent out twice on a pretty placid looking pitch. It's the same as today with Bailey and Williams, 6 wickets between them to wrap it all up. So yeah, a really good win that for Lancashire.
Well, it's the tale of it. Kent will take just a single point from this one. 23 for Lancashire to take them out of the bottom 2, just their second win of the season, and one which looks very, very important for them, and puts Kent in an even more difficult position at the bottom of County Championship at Division 1. So that's it. Obviously, you'll hear on our respective stations, BBC Radio Kent, BBC Lancashire and Manchester, reaction from this game to come in our news and sport bulletins. But thank you so much for listening, for all your texts, your emails and your tweets as well. And Scott Reed, Sunday at Southport.
It is.
For you, and for Kent, Sunday at the Utilita Bowl. And anything to add from you, Scott Reed?
No, thank you everybody for your thanks to Kent for the excellent hospitality. I'm glad that the cricket week's gone well, and no, all good.
Thank you for listening, and yeah, you'll hear from us both at different games, 11 o'clock Sunday. It's a resounding win here to conclude at a sunny Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, Canterbury. Lancashire win by an innings and 83 runs.